that recording? It is recording. Okay.
Hello friends, today we are going to be sharpening our chisels and planing blades. We don't have a whole lot in way of sharpening tools, so we have this cheap block from Harbor Freight that has 2, 3, 4, and 600 grit. I think this one is a 3000 diamond grit plate that I got off Amazon. And these two were just like found in a toolbox randomly. They're just small stones. This one is ceramic, it looks like, real smooth finishing stones. Other than attempting to watch me sharpen these tools, which hopefully I do sharpen and do not mess up, my experience comes from trial and error and YouTube research. So as I said, we're going to start by polishing the back of the chisel. And that will be before we go and work on the bevel edge. So like I said, I'm going to do my very best to demonstrate without, obviously destroying the tool. So we're going to keep it flat against the sharpening stone, apply pressure to the edge, and we're just going to go back and forth with it. I'm starting with a 300 because it's been a while since I sharpened my stuff. And we're gonna walk that all the way through to the 600 grit. Three, 400. You're going to do your best not to create any leverage because you're just sharpening the flat end. Well, not sharpening, but polishing. You want to get any sort of burr off the back end of this blade. Make sure it's all flat right there on your working surface. So this will be the back end. It's starting to get a little shinier. You can see the difference between the rest of the chisel. Let's see this. Make sure that we're applying pressure to the bevel so that the back lays flat, but we're not applying any pressure back here. We're just pushing and pulling while holding with the other hand. Now to 6. While these may not be professionally sharp by the time I'm done, they will be sharper than they are now. And that's all I can really hope for until, I go pro. That's too hot. That was 6. Go back to 2. Getting ahead of myself. Two. Now realistically this one I probably left outside, so I
realistically should scrape the whole thing and get all the rust off, but we're not going to do that. We're just going to make it shiny on the back for right now. When you're doing this, before you get started, when you have better sharpening stones, you have your double-sided whetstones or whatever, it's good to get a kind of planing stone so that you can make sure all that stuff's smooth and flat. But as I explained earlier, in the name of budget sharpening, I don't have any of that. So I'm going to do the best with what I have until I have more. More stuff's not really the goal. It's probably less stuff with more utility. I could come back through and use that diamond grit, that 3000 grit plate, but I'm not going to do that because I think 6 to 3000 is probably an unnecessary jump for low-end carving tools. Now, if you look at this, you can see how rusty it is versus the 2 to 600 grit polish right here. Ooh, we got a little mirror here. We're going to get this a little bit better framed for both cameras. There we go. Now that we've done the back, we've got a nice sort of gloss in comparison to what we had before. It's smooth. It looks level, as level as I can get it for now. We're going to work on the bevel, so we're going to do the exact same thing, but instead we are going to take the chisel. We're going to rock it onto the bevel surface. We're going to hold it there instead. Now again, we don't want to apply any leverage because that'll upset the bevel, it'll round the blade, and we don't want any rounding, obviously, because this is a cutting edge. If that's not obvious, then I apologize. But sharp is sharp. We're going to do the exact same thing. We're going to rock it up until we feel that stopping point, and we're going to ground that blade. We'll start back down at 2 and rock our way up to 6. At the end, I may use the ceramic stones, but beyond that, this is pretty much all we're going to do to it. It'll be sharper than they were. They'll be able to cut a lot smoother. We'll have a lot less resistance. It won't dig too deep on accident, unless you're being careless. But that's, it's kind of a staple of mine. What up? Is it super familiar? I don't know. See, I just brought it back and I find that surfaces, so I'm not going to get my spot. Yeah, kill. We'll see how it's going to look. That's it. The holes in this have been kind of sketching me out for this kind of work, so I'm switching to the sides that are smooth. Because if for some reason this plate is warped in any place, if this plate is bent, then you know, that part could dig in. It could cause an unsmooth surface. That's definitely not something you want in a cutting edge. So this whole edge will probably have to be reworked. A simple sharpening is really not going to get rid of the bites out of that edge. You'll have to grind the whole edge off and make a new one. And I could do it this way, but it would probably take forever, as opposed to using, you know, a grinding stone or some kind of sandpaper, power tools. Shave it off with an angle grinder. I don't know. I think that's also important to remember to breathe, because I've definitely forgotten to breathe a few times. Not generally, I mean in this, you know, as we record. Ooh. This one has some bites out of it too, so I can't promise it'll be saved, but you know, we may be buying a new blade. I guess the purpose is to see if we can avoid buying a new blade. Because shit's expensive. And I really hope all this audio comes out like really good, because since I'm grinding all this, I can't reshoot it. It's like, oh, look how polished, and then we start the videos over and it's already fucking shiny. It would really we'd lose a lot of, I don't know, we'd lose a lot in before and afters if it looked pretty much the same. There we go. I found my words. I can speak. Also, if I'm doing this wrong, or you have a better technique, or you know something that I don't, please tell me. I like to learn stuff. This feels like learned information. It could be wrong. I could be doing this incorrectly. There could be a better, cheaper way to go about doing this. If you know, let me know. I'd like to hear it. But I did buy this block like 4 or 5 years ago, and it has definitely gotten its money's worth. Find the edge. In hindsight, I probably should have tried to plan something with this blade before sharpening it, but I didn't. So we're just going to see how awesome it is after I'm done. And that was 6. Feels nice. There is another technique I saw where you can put an additional like micro bevel on this, but I'm not really confident enough in all that to do it. So we're gonna have to just deal with a regular bevel. All right, moment of truth. That seems to be working. There's one. That one's working pretty good. I don't know whether or not this was a good piece of wood to really demonstrate that on. I honestly couldn't even tell you what type of wood it is. We got some shadings though. That seems like it's doing pretty good.
For everyone who made it through the entire video, I thank you very much for following along. If you haven't already, I would very much appreciate it. Tim would very much appreciate it if you'd like to subscribe, follow us along this journey. We will put in the bio the tools that I've used, but we're also going to link higher end tools for those of you, who want to have a higher end chisel or a higher end sharpening block, something that we think or have used in the past that's reliable and durable and a good investment as a whole.